through, and Randy Depunier trying to get up the inside of, not quite able to get past, up the inside there of Tony Elias. Great stuff from Randy Depunier, riding with that injured knee, just tucked in behind him. You can see Marco Melandri, Colin Edwards 8, Caparossi 9, Nicky Hayden, the World Championship at the moment in 10th place. What a start to the race here at the Grand Prix of Catalunya in Barcelona. Fabulous stuff. We ride with Danny Pedrosa. He could not be closer to Casey Stoner, and he's going to have another go at it. Perhaps not here. I think at the end of the back straight when they break for the left-hander, Danny Pedrosa, perhaps not quite close enough this time round.
Well, we expected a three-way battle between Stoner, Pedrosa and Rossi. At the moment we've got Stoner, Pedrosa, and I'm sure Rossi's going to join him for company. He just closed the gap by 2/10 on that section, and he's making his way forward now through the order. Don't count out Valentino Rossi. He was in 8th position after the first lap in Mugello, and look what happened. He went on to win the race by a couple of seconds over Danny Pedrosa. This time it's a little bit different. Casey Stoner out at front, Pedrosa in second, and Rossi tucked in third. But we could see that three-way battle we expected. Into the stadium section once more, and now the hard work on the right-hand side of those tyres. They're going to suffer throughout this race, and well, they're already going to start to suffer early on.
Into the start, finish straight. There is Tony Elias just tucked in there behind John Hopkins. We ride with him. In behind the bubble, just over 300 kilometers an hour for the 800cc machines. Again, Pedrosa very, very good on the brakes there, but Stoner holds the advantage. And Tony Elias gets up the inside of John Hopkins, and Tony Elias has now taken over 4th place, but then runs it wide. John Hopkins goes past, and then Tony Elias and Randy Depunier collide, but don't go down. Two very lucky young men.
Well, I think that again was Tony Elias going far too hot into turn 1. That's when Hopkins could take him back on the second half of turn 1 and 2, the S's, and when Elias came back across the track, there was Randy Depunier. And that's the dangers. I'm sure there'll be some finger wagging at Tony Elias once more. Very exciting rider to watch, of course, Tony Elias, but sometimes some riders say that he is a little bit too close to the bone in terms of manoeuvres. They can see he comes back across and cuts right into the path of Randy Depunier, and right on Randy Depunier's sore knee as well. Just thinking about that knee, which is full of blood, and really horrible injury that he has.
Randy Depunier should give a hand signal in behind him as if to say, it's okay, mate, I'm still in front of you.
If he was going to be hit anywhere, that was the worst possible place on that knee, wasn't it? Danny Pedrosa still hanging in there. Casey Stoner setting an absolutely scorching pace at the front, into the stadium section, down through these fast right-handers when they come into the start and finish. It will be 20 laps to go of this 25-lap race. A long, long way for tyres, machines, and for bodies, especially this man's body, Randy Depunier, who's riding with that badly injured collarbone, badly injured left knee. We ride with Valentino Rossi in 3rd place, just eking out a few precious seconds. And again, Danny Pedrosa at the end of the start and finish straight closes on Casey Stoner, but Casey Stoner has the pace of the Ducati and still leads the way. It was Danny Pedrosa that led the way early in the race. Stoner got in front, and Stoner from the second row of the grid once again, riding a superb battle with Pedrosa at the front. Rossi looking very threatening in 3rd place. John Hopkins, well, what a season he's had, in 4th place. And then we have Tony Elias, we have Marco Melandri, and of course Randy Depunier. Further down the field, Nicky Hayden 10th, Alex Barros in 11th place, Chris Vermeulen 12th, Sylvain Gintley 13th, Alex Hoffman in 14th place. Here comes Alex Barros now, chasing after Colin Edwards in front of him.
Yeah, Barros didn't get a great start. He was, well, it's quite far down the grid in 14th, but now up into 11th. He's got past Vermeulen, and now he's hunting down the American Colin Edwards, former World Superbike champion, of course. They come onto the back straight, Casey Stoner and Danny Pedrosa. Pedrosa has a look up the inside, onto the brakes. They go into the tight left-hander, not this time from Danny Pedrosa. Rossi is closing in on Danny Pedrosa on this lap, but he's bringing along with him to the party John Hopkins. And, well, we could see a 4-way battle. We thought it might be 3 at the front, but if Hopkins could be in there, then that's even better indeed.
And Danny going to get the lap board that says +0 to Rossi, even though he's got about 0.6 of a second, so they're giving him the hurry up already.
They probably know what's going to happen in about 2 laps' time, but Danny Pedrosa can stay with Stoner, but where he can actually overtake him, I'm not so sure. It's very hard indeed, because Stoner's riding superbly at the front. This is where Pedrosa's very good. Now, perhaps he'll have a go here. 2 or 3 times in the last, 4 or 5 laps, he's got up alongside him, but not quite close enough. I don't know if he's sounding him out or if he actually can't get past him.
Well, it looks as though Stoner's just braking a little bit later. Maybe that Ducati a little higher up in the ranges. It just has a little bit extra as well. You know, when they start to have tyre degradation, the speeds that are coming onto that home straight will be all important, obviously, as they run down to the start and finish line, and that could be where Dani Pedrosa has the edge. You never know. Lots of laps to go in this race as they go through now.
And also too, Kev, if you look at the top speeds, they're getting 305 k's for Stoner, which is about 15 k's down on what he was doing in practice. So this headwind might be playing a bit of an effect as well.
Valentino Rossi third, John Hopkins really hanging in there. As we said, we thought it would be between the 3 at the front, but John Hopkins right in there. 4 riders, 18.5 laps to go. This really could go anyway, but the Doctor looking ominously quick in 3rd place, chasing his 9th Grand Prix victory here in Barcelona.
Just looking at 5th place, Randy Depunier's got past Tony Elias, so we thought Depunier might start slipping down the order, but it's not to be. He's got past Elias and he's pulling away from him. He's not closing on Hopkins in front of him. These 4 are in a pace of their own at the moment, all in the mid 143s, low 143s, and those behind in the 144s.
Well, Randy said to me this morning that it's not really riding a bike that is a problem, it's just getting on and off. Once he bends the knee and gets it in position, there's not much pain there for him. So he might have settled down and he's got his head around it now that he's relegated Elias as they come down and complete another lap.
They're getting it whacked by Tony Elias, probably didn't help. I don't know, might have helped him a little bit. Valentino Rossi now just having a little sniff at Dani Pedrosa, 18 laps to go. Rossi's had to work very hard to get up with Dani Pedrosa. He's brought John Hopkins along as well. That's the gap. It's well, it's not even close enough to look at gaps, is it? You just look and see that Rossi's going to have a go at Pedrosa very soon indeed. Whereas Dani Pedrosa has been happy. Well, has he been happy to stay behind Casey Stoner? But Stoner has set such a pace at the front. He's made it very difficult for him. Valentino Rossi sizing up Dani Pedrosa now. Is he close enough? He is close enough. Again, I think it will be at the end of the back straight. He may have a go. This is the left-hander.
He likes these double left-handers with Valentino Rossi. He's very strong in this section of the circuit. He tried there before on John Hopkins. He's not going to have a go this time on Dani Pedrosa, but he does like it through there.
Now, guys, I've got Chris Herring with me, the sporting manager of HRC, the Honda Racing Corporation. Chris, must be making everybody feeling pretty good now that the criticism that the Honda has faced early in the year, but now Danny's proved in the last couple of races that you're really getting the pace up.
Yeah, I think it's clear to see the top speeds have improved on Danny's bike and Nicky's bike, and you know, even with Tony Elias on the Bridgestones as well, I think there's a real battle going on between the tyre manufacturers as well. But yeah, bit by bit, you know, it's still only about 80% developed, so there's a long way to go for the engineers.
And also a bit down on top speed, I've noticed from what the bikes were doing yesterday, maybe this headwind playing a bit of havoc with them as well.
I think that's all it is, Mark. I mean, we don't have any fuel issues. I don't know if any of the teams do, but certainly there's no problem with, you know, having to tune it down a bit for the fuel consumption.
All right, mate, we'll leave you to it to get back to it. Thanks, Chris.
Cheers, Matt.
Over the start and finish line, 17 laps to go. Fabulous round 7 of the MotoGP World Championship. There's John Hopkins in 4th place. They almost come as one. It looked like Casey Stoner, and then suddenly they found out there was 3 riders behind him. But Casey Stoner is setting one hell of a pace at the front, isn't he?
Fastest lap of the race so far.
Whoa!
John Hopkins, a 143.252. Hopkins is starting to come into this race. We thought he was just being dragged along by Valentino Rossi, but it certainly seems that Hopkins has the pace to stick out alongside this top group, and he's doing so in 4th position at the moment. We're just watching Nicky Hayden's battle further down the order at the moment. Hayden currently sitting in 9th position. There's Loris Capirossi just in front of him in 8th place. It's been a good ride from Capirossi, started from 17th position on the grid. He was up to 9th by about the first split, wasn't he, on that first lap? And now he's pressurising Marco Melandri. Nicky Hayden just behind him there has